just found something within Yasin, who just came out and ruined Excel. He's now going to try and keep that momentum as we move over to Icebox, something which is going to be a very, very close map indeed. Pavlos, I'm going to call it now. I would not be surprised to see overtime.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, the way that both games went, the neck and neck, the back and forth, the how tempo reliant you are to kind of gain a lot of these rounds has been, we could very much see an overtime sort of scoreline, which is exciting. And I mean, we can also consider this being a very close match. And also, again, put into the picture that Icebox is a map we haven't seen. I don't think it's been the case for both Excel, but I know for Finest that for a fact we haven't seen this for this season yet from them. So we don't quite know what to expect from them. But I guess we don't need to guess too much because we'll be seeing that right now. Chaos on both sides. Chambers only on the one. Excel... Oh, no, never mind. Okay, I saw it live at the bottom. Okay, finally we're seeing Chamber. I was about to say they weren't too convinced of him just yet. But no, it's a mirror comp. Apart from Jet being played instead of an Omen.
I quite like this Jet over the Omen, and it means Finest could be a little bit more aggressive, Excel looking to maybe be a bit more tempo controlling by adding this Omen. And for me, I think this Omen is purely there to try and humble the Yasin, try and focus the Yasin to stop him from having as much free reign as he did over on Breeze.
Yeah, it definitely feels like it. And I'm just curious to see what happens, man. I just don't want to wait anymore. I just want to get into the server and figure this all out because Excel now on the attacking side, we saw how attacking heavy these teams have been and how much they depended on it for their victories. So I think it could be quite a boost for Excel to start there at the beginning. Unless Finest can be able to bring a strong defense and just catch everyone off guard.
You're absolutely right. Let's get into this pistol round. Pavlos, Excel decided their attention to A with a few players ready to make their way through mid. It looks like it will be the aggression of Finest to spot them out first, so led by Machina.
Yeah, Machina looking to put hot lead onto Paddytech, but instead ends up falling. Paddytech continues. Two heads simply melted. And now Excel with a strong advantage. It just didn't need to do anything. It was Finest to aggress towards them. And that's going to be costly. Now maybe to find some advantage towards mid. Foxy moving out of it. Slowly realizing, okay, it's time to move on to a site. Destructive still wondering whether movement has commenced towards kitchen. Completely leaving that uncovered. But Yasin is in a very, very tough spot. No reinforcements. And Excel looking to approach him. The cavalry now landing. Recon bolt. A site over. Yasin spotted. That's going to be even difficult. Yasin finds one. Space granted. Paddytech, they're in trouble. Bonka trades it back, but Alive is still pushing. Destructive will be punishing mistakes on both ends. And it seems Excel may stand a chance. Destructive return. Finest turn it around as Excel go a little bit too far.
Chihuahua bites off more than he can chew there. Swings into Destructive's crosshair, hoping the 2v1 will be favourable. Not against Destructive. You need to do more than that, but he'll win the 1 versus 2. He'll get that defuse. He'll bring Finest their first round, and he'll continue that momentum as they hit Icebox.
I can hear everybody right now in chat, everybody watching. Why did Excel push that? Why did they just put everything into that push one by one? I guess they didn't expect Finest to have rotated so quickly with the reinforcements, but you can't do that. Numbers advantages, spike control, site control. The pain, the horror. But Finest, they're going to be happy about it. And I guess my also predictions will be happy about it. So far, so good. And the enforcement of a buy again from Excel. I can't count how many force buys we've seen on a second round.
Yeah, absolutely right now. Yeah, see, able to finish off Chihuahua now. The remaining members of Excel on the force buy second round, something that both teams have attempted. Neither have been able to make it work for them, though.
Kicks moving in. Bulldog lining up some shots. Will the theme still stay consistent within itself? You've seen aggressing mode, challenging, keeping it a close score. Everyone's so close to each other, they can smell their sweat coming off of their foreheads. Recon destroyed, but there's another to be thrown at Destructive onto the end. They can spot him, they can pre-fire, Excel deliver, Bonker as well. I can do that. And Machine side swings by, and Finest recover it. Excel's force again goes to waste.
That it does. However, Pavlos, they may be able to smell the sweat, but now they can taste the tears. Finest going 2-0 up now. They leave Excel with a real dicey position now. Another investment of pistols. There's a chance for Finest to extend that economy even further. We said one of the objectives of Excel right now is to stop Yaxi from getting an early operator. This isn't the way you do it, as they have to drop the pistols. Yaxi now can go on a Spectre, farm a bit of cash, and then bring out that up come the full buy.
And now Excel look to move onto the A site front. Thankfully, for Finest, the dagger eliminated. Kicks, able to use his flashes if need be. But Excel are moving in, and movement from the Finest side will also suggest they got the right read. Bonker, first of all, have a kill go his way. Kicks as well, they're all lining up for him. Stars are aligning essentially. Destructive with a double to close out the round. Finest on 3, Excel with nothing.
Something I want to highlight from Destructive is that even when he's not doing a flashy play, he's still consistently killing people. And that consistency is really what's been propping up Finest. It means that Yaxin has the space to start coming alive. And as we hit the full buy of Excel, you see Yaxin is arming and arming about this operator. Instead, Machina's going to pick it up. Yaxin brings out the Blade Storm. Then should Machina fall, Yaxin has an operator readily delivered to him. Instead, being a little bit more disciplined though. Goes for the Phantom. Excel still without any ults to wield, however they are one away from being able to use that null command on Patatech.
Yeah, looking to balance those ultimates a little bit, see if they can work in that way. Viper spin onto the A side, but it seems the boost coming through from Alive has allowed them to get themselves the advantage. Foxy also chimes in. Destructive caught off guard. Excel completely switch it out. They don't take a hint of damage.
Wow. Excel, they just wake up. I tell you what's happened. Their coach has said something. The hairs on the back of their neck have stood up. Their pupils have dilated. Their coach just whispers to them, "Go kill," and they went, "Oh, that's what I'm meant to do."
Guys,
God,
click
you're
heads.
right. And it went and they clicked heads. Alive took it to heart and now has an op to wield against Machina. The Chambers taking the op duel before the Jets do, surprisingly. As you look over at the ult management, there was a Viper Spit committed to that round, as well as a Blaze Storm from Finest that still didn't do anything. Excel, they have that sort of force on Alive. I doubt we'll see him use it though until maybe an eco with Patatech 1 from a null command, Foxy from a relocation, Mo from a Hunter's Fury. Whoever plants this spike is going to be one happy boy.
Oh, yes, they will. But Kix is there to deny it. What if no one gets a spike plant?
Look how aggro Yaxin is as well. That position.
Indeed. So is Machina, right? Allows Finest to be comfortable to hold the back end of the site. As soon as an approach comes, they can collapse. And Excel won't know what hit them. Finest just mustn't go too far out. Just mustn't make the mistake. They've got the read. That's all they need for now. Getting caught onto the open would be the troubling part. Recon Bolt showing where the positioning of one of those players are. It's going to be the crucial part. Foxy looking at TP on top. Punish, Destructive, finding one, finding a double. That's what Finest want. Chihuahua Alive, though, will be bouncing back. Retaliation from Kicks. That's a headshot. The darts away, though. Null command. Initialize Chihuahua without the capability of using abilities. We'll try and find Kicks. There he goes. But here come the rotations. Have they come in too late, though? That's the big question. Chihuahua's paranoid whether they're coming in from behind Machina. Yassine wants to give his teammate another chance of life, but you can be sure that Excel are defending it. Yassine finds Alive, which means only Chihuahua is here to defend. That's the information given! And Yassine will take charge of it. Finest on 3. We'll be looking at a fuse and increase that lead.
Oh, Pavlos, your order now is looking pretty tasty as they finally find something to stop. They find a way to stop Destructive, right? They finally put him to bed. But that doesn't matter because the rest of the team is now very unhappy that you've killed Destructive, and they've got nothing to stop the angry mob. As Excel find themselves 4-1 down, they are able to move to a full buy. They also have every ult available on their team. Alive is going to bring out that tour de force, and now it comes down to how they're going to be using these Hunters, Furies, these tour de forces. We may just see an early null command followed by a quick push to B, where Finest already have 3 players stacked up to fight them.
Let's play.
All right, Foxy. Ooh, Yassine's up close. Oh, do they know it though? And that is Machina even closer, getting the first kill, chopping up. I thought I took the high ground. What are you on about, Yassine? And Excel are now at a 2-men disadvantage. Without any trade. Only Yassine perhaps to be softened up a little bit. Yes, they know where Alive is, but Mo is close by. Kicks, delivers once again. Not only does he kick, he punches. And he just knocked out one of his opponents. So now, Excel in big trouble. Flashed over, and I can't do anything. And Chihuahua, all of a sudden, is a very lonely dog.
Mike Tyson, who, this scary kickboxer, is looking to wipe XL at the moment. Machina falling, that may just make Kick even angrier as he looks to take this engagement against the lone Viper in a 1 versus 4.
Let's see if Bites can do well up against Kicks. Oh, that's a spike. You don't even need to look at it to collect a Chihuahua. What are you doing? Well, he wanted to make sure he was close enough to get it without over-peaking, I guess. But that is Excel, again, dropping the ball. And Finest catching it when it was most needed.
That they do. 5-1 scoreline now. XL bring out their first timeout. Something I've noticed from a lot of both these teams, actually, is when they're down, they time out. But we never see more than one. It is just a timeout. And for XL, this is where something needs to change. Something needs to change quickly, and something needs to change drastically. Machina hasn't been given too much space to duel with this op, but that isn't for lack of trying. It's just because he hasn't seen a destructive of killing anyone before he can show up. I mean, last round it was Kicks as well. The entirety of Finest is here and ready to play. Over on XL, they haven't yet found someone to challenge them. They haven't yet found someone to have that star performance. Alive's had a good crack at it, but so far it's not enough. Yes, they can buy, but with 4 ults available, I'm surprised they weren't committed last round.
It really is surprising. I guess they got caught off early. I don't think they realized the fight would have been taken so soon, maybe saving it until they reach the B site, but Finest really aren't allowing them to do that. They're the ones that are actually taking the space very early. They're the ones that are challenging Excel and forcing them to use a lot of their utility, a lot of their resources early on to take these fights. And I think XL from now on will have to be very cautious on how they approach these rounds. And this will really allow Finest to kind of play around the information that is given to them.
That's a tech. Very early push here. Oh, the drive-by. It works out.
What a Ferrari peak. And they even go for more! They're not stopping! They want the knife! Paddy Tech got a little bit too greedy there. I felt it though. Okay, standard Fnatic Viper's pick dropped. And they seem to be composed to carry this onwards. Excel, you're down so many rounds. How can you afford to go for knives like that? Alright, Finest may be able to recover it. There's no more Viper Spit, and the spike isn't even planted. No. Excel dropped the ball again. Oh no. Foxy's only got an operator, and it's not the best weapon in this scenario.
Maybe an opening kill might give Foxy something to switch it out with, but with a Vandal at his feet, I'm surprised we're seeing Foxy cling to this slow-to-fire weapon. Not that it matters, though.
No, it does not.
I'm really impressed with the recovery from Finest there.
So
XL, I really like the strategy. You realise, okay, Finest like to play a bit aggressive. If we go even more aggressive, then those who have pushed forward won't be able to rotate in time. So there's really nice methodology behind it, but the trades just go so downhill for them. It's a lovely trade for both Alive and Patatech, but once again, XL, they overextend. Finest, they find something to punish, they commit to the punishment, and they find themselves 6-1 up.
That was completely XL's fault there. They overcommitted. Yep. They got the first kills, they should have gone directly for the objective. Viper's Pit, Spike Plant. End of the story, but no. I think it's twice we've seen Patatech get a little bit overeager. I don't know if he was trying to get his pistol out instead because he ran out of Spectre bullets to kind of guarantee the final blow. But still, even with pistol, that would have been too aggressive. And that is Alive caught off again with Yassine elevated. to a higher level. Having a better angle to work with. Kicks, he's the one to get caught off guard this time around, and Yassine may be able to hold on. An Excel opportunity to grant themselves a victory, but they've yet to gain site control.
This is getting pretty dicey now for Bunker.
Revealing area.
Realizing that the rest of Excel are going to be staring down on them. A player down, something Finest aren't quite comfortable with here, as Excel have gone quiet.
They're scared. They don't go for the commit. And this allows Finest to still be in control of the position Excel want to take. Okay, though. They linger towards the A site. It's all an obfuscation. And all the destructive ends up falling to it. And it seems that more pieces of the puzzle are starting to align, forming the picture of a victory. But Bonka still holds strong. Chihuahua punishing. Okay. Machina's definitely going to be saving that operator. There's no way he goes for this. And that will allow Excel to get themselves a second and close out that gap. Finally, after a drought of rounds, to get themselves a win.
Really, really strong stuff from Excel, and they finally were able to trade effectively. More importantly, they start playing a lot more disciplined. They've reeled it in, and now Finest, the ball's in their court to change something. Now, 6 rounds on your defensive side of Icebox is certainly enough. You've confirmed at least a draw in this half, but my worry now for Excel is, will they be able to, and is there an option for Excel to continue this momentum, or are these kind of stray rounds before Finest are able to sort of tighten the chain and just readapt?
That is a big question. I'm just wondering what went wrong there for Finest, though, in this particular round, right? I think they were able to find the first kill, then the off angles came in, and Excel were able to find their way in by taking sneaky positions. Maybe Kick shouldn't have been so aggressive. I think they had the right idea there. I think it was all down to wrong timing, essentially.
One enemy remaining.
No, you're absolutely right. And for Excel, this is now where they've got to keep this momentum. They've got to keep this consistent. Otherwise, their money is just going to go straight down the toilet for having to reinvest again and again. Even on the rounds they're winning, they're still losing players, which is establishing an economy can prove to be fairly difficult. Makina's going to bring out that sort of force accompanied by the operator over on Yassine. So with a double op set up, we'll see what Excel are going to be able to do to counteract it without a single sniper in their own arsenal to wield.
Finest may have a field day today, though, because 4 ultimates available for them. It's not too bad of a deal, is it now? Shocked up, making sure the soul trap of Alive can no longer be used. Soul trap of Machina as well, expended. What was it?
I really want to highlight the fact that Finest, they've got a lot of ults to wield here. So actually dropping down to a retake wouldn't be too bad a shout for them.
Moving in. Destructive. Snake bite to delay a potential plant, but it's a little bit too early. An Excel reposition, no. Hold on for a little bit, placing Alive and Foxy behind Yellow. Players that could easily TP out of there. And that call for the rest of the team to reposition towards the A site as Chihuahua takes charge of the site. Oh, doesn't check his right side though, and that could be the punishment that could come in from Excel, but it doesn't Hunter Fury. Oh dear! Kicks not giving the opportunity for Chihuahua to gain space, and that is Finest right back in control. Kicks even closer. Not able to find a head. Mo is able to recover it, but now they need to get the spike down, and Finest are not giving them the space. They're not giving them the time to do it. Bonker close by. Boom goes the dynamite, and that's Finest on 7.
I wish Dynamite went bonk. It'd be a lot less scary if it went bonk.
Did you know Finest, the core of the team, used to be called Bonk?
Really?
And then they were called Honk, and then they were called Yonk.
How'd you evolve from Yonk?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
So I feel like that. What other Onk words are there to go for?
Actually, I don't know if they were actually called Honk. I know there was another team called Honk, and also a lot of people teased the Goose House of being called Honk. But no, they were definitely Bonk at one time, and they're definitely Yonk at one time.
And then they went to Finest. One of these names is not like the other.
And then they went to Finest, yeah.
Two of these names are not like the others. As Excel, they find themselves now with a fairly poor bite as they look to assault this beast site. Luckily, it's a fairly passive setup from Finest, hoping that their ults, their weapons, and their abilities will be enough to prevent a spike plant here.
Ooh, Chihuahua. Not the right crosshair placement, though, when Kicks able to find control onto the side. Patatek, Marshall, put to good use. Yassine is really low. Definitely can't have the same amount of confidence. Competence? That's a different story. Yassine is more than competent. But we stay silent. No man's land in the middle. No one dares to cross. Now, looking to move through. Paranoia, dark cover, everything thrown at them. Still, Yassine finding one. But he's so down low. One bullet should do it, man. Offered from above, looks to drop, but that's the information. 3 players close by, allowing Destructive to move in. Still Foxy finding a headshot though, and it's all down to Kicks, lining them up. It's all down to one though. Fragment to the back end, not quite connecting, finding himself a fandom, repositioning. Patatek, he's done it.
Oh my god!
Getting a third. They're still in it.
That was a hell of a round there from Patatek. Just knifes them down, brings XL their third, but it shouldn't have come that close, frankly. Considering it was kind of Marshall's pistols, the fact they won it alone is impressive, but when it came down to those initial trades, they did hand a few back to Finest, and Finest were able to clamber back into the round. Fortunately, they didn't account for the fact that Patatek happens to be nuts at this game. As Finest move into the reinvestment, Op comes out over onto Makina. This is counteracted by the Tour de Force over on Alive to try and challenge this sniper.
I love this position. But it needs to come in hand with mid control, and they just didn't gain that. They lose 2 players. Snakebite as Foxy drops to his demise. And Finest, simply as that gain control. XL spread out. Weaklings at this point. Still capable of damage. Finest aren't given anything right now. Super composed in their play.
Now, attempt is coming through.
Oh, Machine's got a line of fire! The Chihuahua dropped.
And you continue to land here. Mo trying to just get a plant here, but Finest, they're in such a strong position here. What can XL hope to do? They've got to try and force a fight out.
Yeah, that was the final. Well, there's one more flash ride available, but with no use, there's nothing you can do. Nowhere to hunt, nowhere to ride, and nowhere to hide. And no ride to catch. Finest just increase that advantage. Put an extra all point onto Bonkar's ultimate. 8-3. Side quest flawless. And Finest are looking better and better by the second.
I'm starting to worry a bit for XL here. Their their attacking side has looked pretty flaccid. I won't lie to you, Pavlos. And Finest, they've just been they've been dominant. Destructive has that Viper Spirit readily available over on XL. They are still ready with a relocation on Foxy as well as a Hunter's Fury. I'm really interested now as to whether or not we see them use sort of in his form of synchronization, just to try and allow Foxy to get behind fighters, maybe cut off rotations, but fighters have been so good at checking every corner possible that rotations and trying to catch them out has proven to be a really tough ordeal.
Well, XL might have got the right amount of eggs into this basket, because Finest are happy to hand this site over. Happy to go for the retake, really. That's just surprising. Fairly defensive positioning from Finest, but a quick wraparound may allow the collapse to come in fast. Foxy, Paranoia onto the site, looking to TP away. The call has been given to the back end. There's no way they don't check this corner. There's no way they don't. Machina peeking out through first, pre-fired from Kicks, that's Foxy dead. Yassine now dropping also. XL are pulling punches though, and this could be feasible if they get the spike down quickly. Mo unable to shoot as he tries to get the spike down as they drop away from the site. They're going to play with a Hunter's Fury, but they're dropping back, changing the positioning as Chihuahua has found himself the B site open.
It's been red though. Does Chihuahua get spotted? This kill decides everything.
It does. That's one important kill coming their way, and now they've got a decision to make. Do they commit to it? Machina's got a long distance here with the operator, but he doesn't want to take that fight, which will potentially give XL a bomb plant. Hunter's Fury as well, alive, getting the kills here. Destructive bouncing back. Hunter's Fury with another kill. It's all down to Kicks, and he drops quite quickly after that. Excel closing up the gap just before the half ends, 8-4, but still a mountain to climb.
They've got to first base. Yeah, they've recovered the half, and that may be enough. That may be enough. They're at first base. They sort of see all the tired climbers around them, and they think, you know what? We're better than that. We're better than you. We knew what we were signing up for. It's oxygen tank onto their back, ready to go to the summit. The Finest, I mean, they're currently looking down on Excel with a gleeful smile as they sit 8-4 in the lead, moving to their attack.
You know, when people say first base, you usually reference baseball. I did not expect you to kind of bring out the mountaineering references. That was that caught me by surprise. That was very nice.
I've never been mountaineering in my life and had any involvement with climbing anything ever, but why not? Why not? Excel, very aggressive pistol round as they go all the way in to find a spawn here to try and outflank them.
A 90-degree toxic screen setup. Quite satisfying to the eye. A little bit off, so OCD not quite to field, but
it's like 89 degrees.
89 degrees, good enough. Good enough for Valorant. Alright, spike down. 5 players alive on either side. Chihuahua looking at Agressia. Could be the first kill to be found. No, it's Mo to find it. Kicks on the bottom end. Frenzy at hand still. Trading pretty equally, but it's Finest on top. Finest with the advantage. Bonka moving in from behind, but it might be over eager. Chihuahua finding it. And now the spike isn't even planted into the open, which means they need to go for the pre-fires, but they cannot. Oh, Chihuahua goes in too far. And the Pausing Cloud is just doing so much damage onto Alive. One bullet should do it now, and that's exactly what is needed. Finest get a pistol, and are getting ever closer to closing out this map.
Shot on the hip as well. That's gotta hurt. That's really gotta hurt. Well, granted, being shot anywhere hurts. I can attest to that. It hurts. Anyway, Finest. There you go, 9-4 up.
You've been shot?
Well, by like a 2-2 air rifle. But it was a point blank. That really hurt.
Right, yeah, fair enough.
So I'm actually getting shot by anything bigger, probably hurts even more. But
ow.
I really don't recommend it. One of my favourite experiences of my life.
Yeah, no. No, wouldn't recommend it, no. No. Anyway, back into the game. Excel, I'm afraid they may be in quite big trouble here. They're willing to take risks to gain some extra ultimate orbs, but they need kills and they need them fast.
Hasn't quite been finished off just yet. Excel on the back foot, and I mean, Kicks, he's certainly getting his kicks out of this, isn't he?
He really is. He's having fun. Good reference.
Spike planted.
See what we did
Thanks,
there.
man.
Alright. Spicy shot from Chihuahua. That's all it is. Seems that Finest can handle their spice. Foxy has a little bit of a kick in him. Make him want some milk right after that. But Finest, they're fine. They're well equipped.
I can't help but think that for Excel now, if this buy doesn't work, it's over. They have one chance to bring themselves back into this, and it's going to be on, let's be honest, a fairly limited buy. No op in sight, no ults to assist it. They have a null command available on Kicks. For Finest, I'm surprised that I'm surprised we're not seeing any pushes to B. They've just consistently hit the safe site again and again and again. I suppose without a Sage, getting to that site can be fairly difficult without killing players. So why not start with an early push?
Oh. This is Excel's buy round, by the way.
Why go to B when you can kill everyone on A, right?
What is going on? Okay, Panatek may be able to bring it back here. Whoa. Definitely will be able to bring it back if he can find a fourth here. Destructive, no. Shuts him down, and that is Kicks back alive and standing. Chihuahua, though, wants a bit more out of this, and will be able to get it. He's been permitted.
No.
Kicks brought to life to be killed once again. Excel managed to get that rifle by round victory.
They're beaten, battered, and bruised, but they are able to limp through. With a 5th round on the board now, they move back to their reinvestment. With 4 players dying, the saved cash really isn't there, but the momentum may be. Finest they can reinvest without batting an eye. But for Battletech, hell of a start.
Yeah, no, Panatek has kind of been that player that once he does perform, he's got those very high impact kills. You know, it's either going to be a clutch or a multi-kill at the start of the round. That's what you love to see. But also, it'd be nice to see if he just didn't throw those Hail Marys and just rush in for no reason from time to time. Everybody has those dualities, if you will. A-Site taking over, Viper Spit, giving them the control they want. Still not impossible, though. Alive, fairly aggressive position to take, but Chihuahua, peekaboo, that's Machina out of it. Excel now look to push through, but Yassine will hold on. Cloudburst also available, peeking out from it. Replenishing himself, gets one, but it's traded. 3 on 3. Mo once more, and that's 2 for him. Bonkering kicks. The 2 remaining players of Finest pull the trigger and Mo is dead, but Foxy, he gets it and kicks us up against 3. They know where he is. Spray down not available for him. Flash drive looking at punish it. Kicks gets 2, and he runs away. 69 points of health. Nice number. Foxy though, once more. He manages to get the kill. TP's close to the spike, and he has no time. No time. And Finest get the dub.
What a round from Kicks! That was a perfect flash! You cannot get better than that! And I mean, the recipe is there. Yassine able to just trade before he dies. That flash, though, takes down the diffuser first, realizing how close they are to finishing it, gets the second player, and then backs off. By the time Foxy kills him, there's no time, even with a teleport! Kicks has done enough. Finest! They go 11-5 up. Excel, it's down to pistols again, and for Finest, they got themselves a Blade Storm.
Kicks needs to start a tutorial series on how to flash, because I want to learn how to do that.
I tried it once and got arrested.
Oh, that was unexpected.
Thanks, man. Live. So what's out the drone. Not quite able to commit to a fight, though, as Yassine is going to try and take the fight to the chamber.
Well, Alive at least is able to find one, equalizing the playing field and giving his team a chance. But honestly, the discrepancy in weaponry is quite large. Oh, hiding out into the A site, solo defender, Sheriff a hand. Not the best situation. Rounds like these shouldn't really be ones for discussion, but you've got to consider every round possible at this point. Oh, he's playing with fire. Machina though, he burns. Oh, the timing. Okay, gets out of it, thankfully. Rendezvous away. But Excel want more than just a kill here. I'm afraid Finest won't make this very easily for them. Won't make it feasible for them.
One enemy remaining.
Machina with 2. Bonk also likes to chime in. Final player remaining is Chihuahua. Quick one, as it should really, from Finest. And 1 away from making the upset possible.
I won't lie to you, Pavlos. Icebox is looking like Finest Playgrounds. They're looking so damn strong at the moment. You look at the ult management as well, maybe something to grasp it that could help Excel close out the map. But the reality is, it's 3 ults apiece. Both players have their Hunter's Fury, both players have their, well, one player has their Blade Storm, and a Viper Spit against what will be a Null Command and a relocation on Foxy. But Machina 1 away from a tour de force, as is Alive. We'll see if that's spontaneously brought out this round, with the Yassine bringing out the judge here.
Alright, let's have a look. Yassine! Incredible! When he's feeling it, he's ever so present on the server. Try to interrupt him, you can't. And right now,
such a
this
fast
team
flank.
is poised. Oh, Destructive finding another one. It is a very fast flank, but they are wary of it, and that's the important part. Chihuahua, though, able to find kicks. Spike planted for them, and there's a judge in play. Yassine, you dirty animal. You dirty animal. That's a judge. This is a judge on a round that could prove the entirety of the seeding efforts into playoffs. This is only the 2nd week, though. Judge not working out, and Viper Spit will make this even easier for them. Chihuahua low. 1 bullet required. Foxy shutting down Destructive, and so the Viper Spit goes. Machina fighting Patty Tech, and now it's only Foxy. Bonker's got a Hunter's Fury. And it's just going for it. It's a knife kill to end the match.
A knife kill.
What a way to close it out. And Finest will do it. Hands up.
What?
We did not expect that.
What a game from Finest there. They absolutely eradicate Excel over on Icebox in an absolute dominant fashion. However, credit where credit is due to Excel. They gave us a hell of a breeze and a hell of a haven. And I mean, even on Icebox, they did have those flashes of brilliance, which affirmed to us that both of these teams are absolutely going to be in our playoffs. I fully expect it at the end of the league for these guys to be ranked 1 and ranked 2.
Oh, well, this gives us time to talk about the winning conditions we already alluded to, right? Where Finest needed to find that tempo control, that they did. They needed to kind of reaffirm their winning strategies, and that is aggression and also kind of taking space early on the defensive. They did. So they seemed in control over this, right? Multiple times, of course, having the ultimate availabilities that they had. Great juggling use of that. They did exactly what was required from them. From Excel, though, on this last map, it looked a bit shaky.
No, it absolutely did. And, I mean, for Finest, they just didn't take their foot off the gas. The second Excel looked shaky, Finest just pulled ahead, and they punished absolutely everything. Excel now, the question becomes, how do you rest, how do you recuperate, how do you put this behind you for you to continue delivering in your final map, or your final series of the league?
I mean, also saw the effectiveness of the Jet over the Omen in this instance, having that as an extra piece of a kit to kind of use as an aggression. Heavily worked out in Finest's favor. Obviously, Yassine, very heavily influential, not only in finding these kills. Oh, this kill, I'm glad that we could see that from that angle this time around. Incredible how they have the confidence to do that. And right, apart from the fact that it was a comp disparity and Kicks really feeling at home here in Finest, rather than he did over in Human Tripwise, coming alive. An impressive 19 kills for him this match, an impressive 296 ACS as well. What else can you say about this kid?
Honestly, he fairly quiet, I want to say, over on Haven. Fairly quiet, woke up a little bit on Breeze, but it was Icebox. He just got better and better as the series went on. We hit Icebox, and this guy just came alive, played out of his mind, and almost breaking 300 ACS. I think that says it all, doesn't it?
It really does. And I really, really like the way they played at it. I mean, we've seen the aggression being brought out from the Turkish scene as well. We've seen everything come together. The storylines we put in place have come through. I'm glad to say, was my prediction to overthrow everybody else's.
The only person who predicted Finest. Congratulations. Congratulations,
thank you.
The Finest social media manager
take back the rating.
Very happy with
I need it. All right. Get that done and dusted.
Your moment of pride. Yes. Of course.
It's got to happen.
That is all we have time for today. However, I believe we have an interview coming up fairly soon, Pavlos.
We do indeed, and we'll be sticking around for that. So make sure you do as well, because the insights we've been getting from these guys forever has been awesome. You've seen most of the time has been the ones to give interviews, but I think a lot of these guys got some interesting points that I'll be looking forward to take. But yeah, stick around for that. Interesting things coming. But I think we can circle around what happened today. Give it a bit of an overall view of what happened. Give us a debrief of what Heat and Kova had to bring.
I mean, Heat and Kova was a pretty on paper it looked like it was going to be quite a close game. I know some people predicted Kova, and more so than people who predicted Finest. So it really was fairly split in both the predictions in both the Twitch chat and in the talent pool. But they showed up. They played out their minds, 2-0 in Kova with a very, very dominant Breeze. They just performed out their minds. Really, really strong stuff. Then moved over to Finest Excel, and I mean, Pavlos, let's be honest, that was a hell of a series.
It really was. I mean, we're talking about both maps being neck and neck, both teams taking their opponents as map pick. So we see kind of some anti-stratting coming to play. But at the same time, there were things that you couldn't really prepare against, right? All three maps played today from the Team Finest side weren't played last week. So yeah, it was kind of Excel playing on a script that they've never really looked at and never really knew existed. And just like most of the times, we've got Yassine ready for the interview. Super excited about this one. So let's get him on the call. Let's get him here so we can ask all the beautiful questions. Let's go, Yassine. How are you doing, my friend? Congratulations on your victory.
Thank you. It's a good one. But, you know, if I'm going to be honest, you know, it is just week 2. I mean, it really doesn't matter too much. Like, we got to make playoffs. We got to win playoffs. You know, this is still a long way to the top. So, you know, we take it day by day, though.
Yeah, it's really good to hear that you guys have got that long sort of projection into the future. Really good to see. Because, quite frankly, last season also worked out very very early good for you, really. I think it was only a few losses. I think it was only a loss at the start, only one that was kind of upsetting, but then you rejuvenated. Nonetheless, I was impressed about today. A lot of changes in the squad, the infrastructure as well. Talk us through what it feels like now you've got Destructive and Kicks in the mix. Obviously, Kicks, you've played up against him last season. Destructive, completely new from a different scene. How does it feel now in the squad with this different lineup?
Hey, fantastic! I gotta give a huge shout out to them both. Looking at Hakan, who's Destructive, brings in not only a lot of aim and a lot of good vibes, but it's just a complete player in my book. Like he really listens, he really adapts, he really understands like what we're asking from him. Bring him in on first trial day. He came in and he was like, yeah, you know what? I'm going into team environment here, so I'm gonna buy utility. I'm gonna play in the back, and we were like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Sorry for cursing. Because then talking with him again, we told him like, listen, on pistol you buy ghost, you buy blind, and then you go and aim, my brother. All right, you play in the front because he wanted to be that play for the team, supportive player, and all that. And we were like, this is not why you're here, big boy. We have the best supporters in the world. We don't need another one. And then Kimmy, I mean, he's 16 years old. He still goes to school, and he's just popping off every goddamn prac every goddamn day. And it's just nice to be around these kind of people because. Obviously, looking at Kimmy, I look at myself and I'm like, hey, I gotta step the fuck up. I gotta become better, and it just fuels me to keep reaching to the top. And it's really terrific. Honestly, it's really nice, and it's a really big plus that they have. Their mentality is good, their vibes are perfect, and they're genuine people. I think that goes a long way. Of course, you can't only be nice, but it really does help the team atmosphere and vibe in general. So it's nice.
On the topic of mentality and vibe, you lost Haven 13-8, I believe, as the sort of opener of this series. What do you sort of say to the team? How do you keep your cool when you move into the next map of the series?
I mean, it was unfortunate because they got some really good flow there on the attacking side. We made some tiny mistakes, miscoms, misplacements, like positioning and such. But it really felt like afterwards that, we haven't even gotten started yet. We should have won. Yes, we didn't. What do we do now? And honestly, like we made our tier list about, what maps are good, what maps are bad for us and all this shit. And Breeze was actually, which is weird, but it was actually at the bottom when we made the list. But then today we made a warm-up practice on Breeze because we were like, you know what? It might happen. We might actually play it. And so, sorry for the sound. We might actually play it. And so it went good in the practice, and we were like, "Listen, guys, we just play like we did in prac, and we're gonna win this game. Like, it's no worries. Don't sweat it." But I do want to give a shout out to Chihuahua. I think he is a pain in the ass to face. Like, honestly, his lurks are really annoying. I'm guessing he's sitting in a dark room because I don't know, man. Like, he is zoned in. Like, he comes in the worst timings ever. It's actually annoying. But as I said, like. Breeze was usually the worst map, but then the last couple of days it actually felt better. So hopefully we're just gonna keep improving because I really like the map. I really enjoy playing it. So
Yeah. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the meta as well, because it's rapidly evolving. Fade is now in the mix, something that you really need to consider. Chamber, maybe some different use cases for him, a little bit more aggressive and less on that passive sentinel play. How does that fit well with your team, right? What are your projections really with the current stance of the game?
I mean, in regards of meta, like like Malcolm said to me that he told Jibril, our manager, that Yasin has been playing. I'm quoting him now. Yasin has been playing against the meta his entire life, and it's actually the first time that the meta could be in my favor. Now I'm not saying you're gonna see 45 bombs every game. That I'm probably just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. Consistency is key. But he does have a point. I didn't see it that way. Obviously, finally. I can play if I want, like rifling jets, which I think is still super valid. But at the same time, Fate came out. I thought she was absolutely broken. Then a couple of weeks went by, or whatever you want to say. I think she's mid. Then we have the Chamber, who I think is like gonna be interesting because they took away a wire. I'm not completely agreeing with that change. But I do think that the meta now allows for what I've always kind of wanted this game to be, that you play what's best for you and not what everybody else does. I mean, just looking at just looking here at the Icebox game, they were running Viper Omen, and we've played against a lot of Viper Omen, and it's been going good for those teams. Unfortunately, that does not maybe necessarily work for us, which is why we're not running it. But you never know, maybe it will do. But I'm really happy about the meta, because obviously the last meta was really kind of yikes, especially when Astra was in play. But I'm actually happy about the meta right now.
Now, your next opponents, this time next week, you're going to be playing against Kova. Do you have any message for the players over at Kova? Do you have any sort of warnings you can give them or anything like that?
No. In all honesty, like, playing against Swedes is always tough. It's been like that since, day one. Obviously, I'm just hoping they, there's always some Swede that's going to pop the fuck off. Usually it's vicious. But we're gonna see how it goes. Obviously, looking at their game today, Supma didn't have the best game. I'm not saying play like that. I'm just saying, like, you don't have to do 65. You just do what you usually do. Because if that's the case, we should definitely be fine.
Well, as always, it's been great talking to you, Yassine. Thank you again for your insights. Congratulations on your victory. It looked like a very important one, maybe one of your most important ones this season, prior to playoffs at least. So yeah, congrats.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Have a good one.
Much.
All right.
He is awesome to interview.
He's the best.
That's one of my favourite interviews today. He's great.
He's the best. He's the best. Kremer, I'd love to give you the mic here and tell me any final remarks for this day in particular, and what we can look forward to when it comes to tomorrow's matches, if you want to give us a little bit of
Of course, we'll give you a little sneak preview as to what's to come. Of course, tomorrow we are going to have H2O versus Who Cars, followed by Human Tripwires versus Alliance. It's going to be a battle mainly of teams who lost their opening game, so a real shot at redemption for these teams. Of course, what we saw today was some very bloody good Valorants, and I can't help but think that if this is but a taste of what's to come, particularly that Finest XL matchup, something I expect to see in playoffs time and time again.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think we can move on also to look at the standings. So where does this leave us? Where does these victories sort of mean in this whole endeavor, whole scheme of things, right? Because I think it was Heat that got their first victory today that will put them into that 1-1 spot together with Excel and Kova, who lost their matches today, while we have our first 2-0 team Finest are looking very, very strong, very good on adaptability and playing their own style, which is very beautiful to see. And talking about standings, I don't want to take the mic for too long. Kremer, I want you to react to this, because all I will do is gloat. All I will do is just say I'm one of the best. So you take the mic here and tell me what on hell happened when it came to the predictions today.
I mean, what's happened is you've only tied with Naomi. You haven't actually taken the lead yet, Pavlos.
I'm part of the lead.
That's true. And the entire pack is only one away from catching you up. We can appreciate that Neokai is just terrible at predictions. I think I've done about 3 or 4 events with him in multiple esports, and not once has he been able to top a prediction chart. So for the rest of the talent who are watching this, or for those who are watching the stream, if you want to have a prediction, look at what Neokai's predicting, then pick the other one. That's a pretty good methodology when it comes to predictions. So there you go. That's my suggestion, at least. It's my take on predictions.
All right. Well, with that equalizer, when it comes to the predictions, I'm pretty happy about today. It's good games, good games, and a lot more games to follow tomorrow as well to hype up the second week of Polaris. So, honestly, I'm very pleased, and I'm looking forward to more. And before we kind of show off the social media, Kremer, any final remarks?
Not at all. Those are some terrific games, and honestly, if this is what's to come tomorrow, I cannot wait. Well, ladies and gents, if you wonder what the hell is going on with the Valorant Regional League of Northern Europe Polaris and want to stay updated with anything that we can bring at you, these are the socials. At ValLeague_NE. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, but also on YouTube at Valorant Regional League Northern Europe Polaris, where you can find interviews, VODs, etc. All the fun stuff that go on behind the scenes as well. But this has been it for myself, X-Warrior, and Kremer next to me today. We'll be back tomorrow for more Valorant action, so make sure you come in and tune at the same time tomorrow as well.